is obviously one of the most important days for those who will be passing out. Also, it's an important day for the university because it's the first convocation. It's also a very pious day today. Guru Nanak Ji's Prakash Parv we are celebrating. It's also not just a day but a beginning of a period all over the world where probably we are entering one of the most uncertain and most challenging times ever. I would probably say in the history of humanity. So those who are passing out, you should be happy, but also should be thinking, what am I getting into? This is the world I never created, but I have to face the reality. So how do I face it? What is that I need to do to at least live in this world, if not happily? Because living in this world itself is becoming challenging because just next door on the east of us, somebody is threatening nuclear weapons, and the west of us, it looks like it's a matter of time when such kind of warfare will start. So that will be the annihilation of the entire humanity. So therefore living itself is an important thing. But if that was not enough challenge, we had a much bigger challenge which was already looming at us, was the climate change. And while we are very happy to have a very distinguished economist, and I would say one of the fine person, human being, who is managing the economy of India, I was asking him, how are you? He said, I'm fine. I said, how you are depends upon how economy is doing. So luckily economy is also doing good because of him, so both are fine. But the challenge of economy has been that the world has never seen an economic growth like this that we witnessed till 2008, unprecedented economic growth. But it resulted into some sort of a inequality that has never been seen before. And sometimes you wonder whether economic growth is better or inequality is better. If you don't have anything, you are better off. But if your neighbor has something better, then you are worse off. So inequality is a challenge which creates social tensions. So all these problems which are facing, and now you are entering that real world from a protected atmosphere of a university. So campus is always a good place. You can have fun, enjoy, learn. Just outside the campus is the real world. So you cross just one step out and you get into real challenges. But how do you face the challenges depends upon where you acquired the skills to face those challenges. And you are very fortunate that you studied in Rishihood University. And as my friend and colleague was explaining, the purpose of the existence of the university, it is created for social impact. And as you're saying, to solve some problems. But actually speaking, the problem is a manifestation. The real problem is not outside. You feel the problem outside, but the cause of the problem is within the human being. See, if you want to solve the problem, first you have to solve the human being. If the human being itself is the cause of the problem and you don't change him, how will you solve the problem? You want to cure a disease, but the cause of the disease is different. So you can probably do some sort of apply some medicine, and Dr. Kaul and his wife can do that job far better than anybody else. But you give the medication that will help you to get over a problem for a while, but the root cause is still there. It might again resurface after some time. So chemotherapy will solve for some time, but Probably it can create problems little later. So the problems that we see, as I was just describing, and I don't want to add more problems because today is a happy day. The cause of the problem is a human being himself. Climate change, human created. Threat of nuclear war, human created. Inequality, wrong policies, human created. So all this is created by the human being himself. How do you change then human being? If he is the cause of the problem, how can you make him part of a solution? And that's where education comes in. And therefore my friend and colleague, when he was mentioning the social impact, I would say first human impact. Change the human being and you have changed everybody. And to change human being, there is no machines available that you can put human being into a washing machine and he comes out as a clean man. But if at all there is a machine, that's university. That's somewhere you can change the mindsets of the people. And that inside is very important. In fact, I was just seeing this good thing. That normally you begin a program by lighting a lamp, but the lamp is already there. In fact, if you look at the history of the humanity, particularly the modern world means going back to say several thousand years, the fire changed the human life. It was a one change that really brought about a complete sea change in the way human beings are lived on the planet. But then, is there fire only outside? There is actually fire within you, which many times you don't see. And because you don't ignite that fire, you don't get what you are capable of. So what the Vice Chancellor was saying is the impact that will be created by changing yourself within yourself, and by doing that we'll be able to really get over the social issue that we want to address. And to do that, we really need to work on it. I think my friend was making such a fantastic narration in Hindi, and she talked about Nobel laureate. So Nobel Prize is recognition of your innate abilities in many spheres, from literature to science to human rights, peace, many things. But I think the university should try to create Nobel laureates, but also create noble human beings. So Nobels have to be there in all spheres. I think one day my friend also will get a Nobel Prize in economics. But getting a Nobel is important, or becoming a noble person is important. If you are noble, then you already won a Nobel Prize for yourself. So you don't have to go to Oslo to get the prize. And therefore I think university should be the place where we should create both noble and Nobel, both at the same time. Excellence in education, but also making best out of individuals. It is a very paradox that human beings are the problem, but only human beings can solve the problem. And therefore, to do that, we have to go back to what Swamiji had always said, Swami Vivekananda and others. So he was talking about Rishihood. Rishi is a state of mind. It's not a title. It's your realization of yourself, elevating yourself to a level where you can see you first in a different way, and because of your own eyes you can see the world in a different way, so that you have ability to change it. So to be a Rishi and then carry out that title of Hood, you have to first and foremost try to focus on yourself. So I am requesting you, all of you, because you are the change agents. You are the ones who will be stepping out, and whatever you acquire, the knowledge in the university, you will be putting into real life. So always remember, you have an obligation towards the society. I think I was just telling, somebody was just now walking in, told me that even Sri Aurobindo's studies, I think you are the one who do this study on, right? So Aurobindo had said something very interesting. 3 things. Body. Ultimately, we say the soul, realization of soul is what will lead to realization of your ultimate goal. But where the soul lies, you don't never see it. But it lies somewhere in the body only. If there is no body, where is the soul? In fact, there is no body without soul. Actually, then remains only a corpse. So, he had said that, but also said something important, is that never forget your country. In fact, he was a freedom fighter. So always remember, you have an obligation towards our own country, our society. So individual growth is important because ultimately individuals make society. But if you forget that you have an obligation towards the society, towards the country, I think you'll never be able to do justice to your own self-existence. So I hope you do that. Once again, congratulations. Rishihood is a young university. So young in age, but I would say quite old in the thought process. It carries forward the great civilizational values of India, at the same time trying to marry them to modernity. And the 5 schools which are actually important in my way. One which deals with healthcare because that's body. Second, the education, that's what will bring enlightenment. Creativity, because that's what every person is capable of. Entrepreneurship, because if you don't, India was the largest economy because it was an entrepreneur economy. And India can again become largest only and only if we become entrepreneurial. And therefore, and of course the leadership. The last part important, most important. I think I never went to Rishihood University as a student, so that's how the country has to suffer by having a leader like me. But if you have leaders trained in Rishihood, you'll be able to succeed and make a country a far better place than what it is today. All the best to you. I hope you all succeed. University is committed for values, and I think that is important. In fact, again, my friend who is from the field of economics, so he is also deal with markets. People ask me, what is important nowadays in economic parlors? Is a startup. And now it is already $1 billion valuation. So I said, what is important? Valuation or values? The valuation can always be seen, but can disappear also in no time. Like the friend of our friend, the owner of Facebook, he lost his valuation by almost something like 70-80% in no time. So still he has a face to show, but a book that where the accounts are kept, it is showing very negative value. So what is important more than valuation is values. So university believes in values, so it will always have a higher valuation in terms of how the world will look at it over a period of time. Thank you very much.